Order and fractions! Hopefully you've come to this video after watching my video on order and fractions using the pictorial method, i.e. using bar models. We're now going to have a look at how to do that just using numbers. Alright, but it's very important first of all to understand that if you haven't seen the pictorial method, it's probably a good idea to go back and watch that video first. So when we do that and we move away from the pictorial method, it's very important to understand what is a multiple. So what are multiples? Well, multiples are basically every number that is in a times table. So for instance, over here we have the 2 times table, and every multiple that we can list in the 2 times table includes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and so on. We also might have multiples of 5, so every number in the 5 times table, so we might have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on. Now, when comparing an order and fractions, it's very important that when we're comparing them, we look for a common multiple. So if we were to look at the 2 and 5 times tables, we can instantly see that common multiples, so multiples that are found in both sides, include 10 and 10, and possibly 20, because that's also in the 2 times table as well. So how does understanding common multiples help us to maybe order fractions? Well, in this case, we've got a quarter and 2/5, and we need to know which is less than or which is greater than, or are they equal? So how do we do that? Well, first of all, like when we were ordering it using pictorial method, look at the denominator. So here we've got a 4 and here we've got a 5. So using our knowledge of multiples, we need to find a common multiple. So what times table do we know is in the 4s and 5s? Well, a nice easy way to do this would possibly be, we could count up on our 4s, count up on our 5s. But I know that if I was to do 4 times 5, that would give me 20. And if I was to do 5 times 4, that would also give me 20. Okay, so we know that we can multiply this side by 5. So again, as with all fractions, whenever we're doing anything by fractions, you have to multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number. So I'll multiply that by 5, and we can multiply this side by 4. Because what you need to do is you need to make sure the denominators are the same, they're equal. Okay, so we multiply this side by 5 and this side by 4. Okay, so there we go. We have now multiplied 1/4 by 5, so now we have 5 over 20. And on this side, we've multiplied 2/5 by 4, so we have 8 over 20. Now, all it is just basically common sense. So we can look at the numerator here, which is a 5, and the numerator here, which is an 8. And straight away, we know 8 is greater than 5. So all we need to draw in our missing box here is that 5/20 is less than 8/20. Or, going back to the original question, where we've got a quarter and 2/5, we now know that 1/4 is less than 2/5. Okay, now the same skills, the same steps can also be applied to trying to work out which order this needs to go in from smallest to largest. So here we can see we've got a 1/2, 2/5, and 3/4. So the same skill applies. So step 1, we look at the denominators and we have to work out which multiple is in all 3 of those times tables. So you could write out all your multiples and do it that way, or if you know it mentally in your head, I know for instance that 20 is both in the 2s, the 5s, and the 4s. Okay, so first of all, let's do this. So I know 1/2, I need to times that by 10, and times that by 10, which will give us 10 over 20. I know that 2/5, I have to multiply the numerator and denominator by 4, so that gives me 8/20. Okay, and then if I were to do 3/4, I'll have to multiply the bottom number and the numerator by 5, which will give us 15 over 20. Right, now that you notice all the denominators are equivalent, are the same, we can now compare the numerators. Alright, so let's set this out quickly. Okay, so we got a bit more room, so let's have a look. Well, over here, if we compare all the numerators, we can see that 8/20ths is the smallest, so therefore, for my answer, I would put 2/5. Okay, because look here, 2/5 times 4 gives us 8/20ths, and that's the smallest. Okay, the next one up would be 10/20ths, so that's the same as that's equivalent to a half. So the next number up, we would say 2/5 is less than a half. Okay, and looking at this again, we can say that the largest one is 15/20ths, so that means that's equivalent to 3/4. So straight away we know 1/2 is less than 3/4. And there you go, we have ordered fractions using our knowledge of multiples. So let's have a go. Okay, let's have a go with these two. So what I want you to do for us on your whiteboard of this question here is, what do you think is that message symbol? Do you think 4/5 is less than or greater than 2/6, or are they equal? Then when you've had a go with that one, have a go with this one. Can you order from smallest to largest 1/6, 2/3, and 4/9? Now remember, if at any point you're not sure how to do any of these, rewind the video and watch it again. And keep practicing. Good luck.